Hello, Namaskar and Adab to all my friends from your friend astrologer and guide Irfan, once more with you from your very own channel Astro Assurance. Ketu is a very important planetary energy. We know that it is not a actual physical planet, but it is a very strong planetary energy which is the opposite energy of Rahu, and these are the two nodes of the moon. And because of the unique energies of Rahu and Ketu being the shadow planets, they also exert a very powerful, sometimes invisible energy in our lives, and they play a very strong role specifically during their Dasha, Antardasha and during their transits, and they are second only to Saturn and Jupiter in the manifestation of their results during the transits and the Dasha. So these are very important planetary entities and strengths, and their placements in various houses and signs cannot be taken lightly. Today we are going to talk about how does the placement of Ketu in the different signs plays out for us. And this we are doing that because Ketu has a unique energy of negation of the energies and the results of the sign that it is placed with, or of the planet that it is placed with. So if Ketu is placed in a certain sign, it will take a lot of unique strength and higher effort for an individual to be able to demonstrate more results of that particular sign. And also if Ketu is placed with a planet, you will have to work extra hard for the planet to show its results and manifest its effects. This is also because Rahu and Ketu are opposite sides of the same coin. Rahu is this white energy, is like the white screen which reflects back every color which is put on it and 10 times more. Ketu is the silent and black energy which will absorb all the colors and retain all the colors and give out very less. So if you are using a black screen, then and in the darkness, then you know that nothing much is going to come out of it. So because of this unique energy of Ketu, it becomes very important to understand the placement of Ketu in your horoscope and various signs, what results it can give you, what effects it can give you, and accordingly we need to play out our own choices, our own actions, our own behaviors, our own energies accordingly. So let's start with Ketu being in different signs and what are the results that we can expect. So let's start with Ketu in Aries first. Ketu in Aries is a very unique energy. One, they are opposite energies to each other. Aries is a go-getting energy, a high energy sign where the goal is to go and get whatever one wants in life. And because it is also the first sign of the Kalpurush Lagna, so it is also important that the energy that the person has, which is contributing to the energy to live, to do things and to get goals and to achieve goals, that is manifested strongly for a person's life so that he or she can then get results accordingly. Now Ketu placed in Aries sign does two things. One, it absorbs the energy of the person to fight, to do things, to get out of bed and to go and chase the goals that they want to achieve. And so this is a placement where it is difficult for you to get out of bed or difficult for you to chase certain results in life. And because this energy of less goal orientation or not being able to chase with the same aggression that Aries sign gives, so it is an uphill task for a person to give results from different attributes of his or her life. So it's not an easy placement. However, on the flip side, what Ketu does is that because sometimes of the non-aggressive nature of the individual, because of not being seen to pursue things very aggressively, so this person does not come across as a big competent to the opposite party. So it becomes a more silent kind of energy where the aggression is within and not able to showcase it very strongly to the person. Why? Because Ketu is the Dhwaja, which means you have already planted that flag in that area before in a previous life. So this life, the reflection of the strong energy and the manifestation of the energy is not as easy as one would have done if Ketu was placed in some other sign and not in Aries. So the person has to work extra hard. Now because the person is not able to show that aggression and the energy, so the opposite party doesn't feel so much threatened So the other opposite party feels that, okay, this person seems to ask me that he really wants it, but he's not really being very, very aggressive about it. Why am I making too many bones out of it? So sometimes without showing the aggression, without showing the high energy, the person gets it or gets the results. So this is opposite to what the Ketu energy means. It means negation. But why was the result given to you? The result was given to you temporarily, but it is not a sustaining result, because sooner than later Ketu will take back the energies. Ketu may show a fall in your health. Ketu may show a sudden dip in your reputation. Ketu may give you a fall from grace. Ketu may also give you a fall in position and stature in society. So with Ketu in any sign, this is important that you also defend that or put higher energy to be able to preserve that. Otherwise, sooner than later, Ketu will give you a downfall related to the manifestation, the energies and the effects of that sign. Same thing with Ketu in Aries. If you don't understand the energy of Ketu in Aries, then somewhere down the line, after getting everything connected to the Aries sign, you will find a downfall. And then the journey downfall is so much that you just don't know what hit you. It arrests you and it doesn't allow you to go forward. Ketu is like the surgery which is done on your arm or your hand after trying to preserve it when you have met with an accident and gangrene or poison is building up in a limb, and the doctors try to save the arm, but when they see that it cannot be helped, and if they allow the wound to manifest or to sustain, the whole body can be poisoned, the life can be in danger, then they cut off the limb to save the life. So Ketu is that energy which says that Ketu is like the silent friend who's standing by the side and allowing you to get the results of the Aries sign. But because you're not able to get it, Ketu then says, okay, what is the sign of Ketu? The symbol of Ketu is a person standing, or the deity Ketu standing with a sharp object. So with one blow, Ketu cuts off the arm or the limb or the tumor which is troubling you. So if there are certain things in life which are really troubling you and from within you're not able to exert the energy and the effort, Ketu says, okay, fine, you did enough, and Ketu will take it away from you. And to get back to the same position, to get back to the same placement or status in society, or get back to the same health connected to Aries, it wouldn't be easy. And so this is important that when you have Ketu in the Aries sign, you try and keep the energy up. The moment you show that your energy is flagging, that's when Ketu will give you a hit. And then to get back that placement, that health, that status will not be easy. So this is something which is like a warning for you when Ketu is in the Aries sign, pertaining to these results. And that is the placement of Ketu in the sign of Aries for you. Ketu in the sign of Taurus is the opposite energy to the bull energy and the stubbornness that the Taurus sign shows. The Taurus sign is also about going headlong into what the person wants, and the stubbornness not only wanting to get certain material attributes of life, anything and everything in material that life can give you, the Taurus energy wants it. But this is also the energy of wanting to be correct and pushing your ideas down somebody else's throat so that it can manifest the results that the Taurus person wants. And because Taurus has also a strong energy of how you are able to push your ideas through and get all the materialistic attributes of life. Thus, Ketu placed in this sign, which is a very, very non-materialistic planetary energy. This is a tough task for the Taurus person to then exert themselves, with the energy that they want and with the bullishness that they want and with the stubbornness that they want of intent to get the material resources that they want in life. So Ketu makes it difficult for a person to sustain the energy. So initially the person may either find it difficult to chase goals, materialistic goals with the energy that the bull should be able to give, and even if they initially start off, it is difficult to sustain it for a period of time. It is like this loaded truck which is trying to go up the gradient, up the hillside, and it is loaded and it has to exert more fuel and it has to put in more energy and more torque to be able to go uphill. And how much can you sustain and how long you can sustain. So the same thing is the Ketu's energy it is like the huge sumo wrestler or 10 sumo wrestlers sitting on the top of the head of the bull, and the bull try as it might want to move, is not able to move with the same energy. So Ketu allows you to move towards materialism, will allow you to go and get the material attributes of life. However, Ketu will not give you the energy to sustain for a long period of time. So somewhere what happens is the person chases money, and after some time the person flags a little bit of energy, and that's where the downfall comes. This is also a placement where the person is very insecure about his wealth, so tries to sustain it through savings and various multiple portfolios, and is able to succeed to some extent. However, the moment the person takes the eye off the target of the goal even little bit, or flags, lets the energy flag even a little bit, it feels the castle coming down. So Ketu is like building a castle in air. When it will come down even by a small shake of the ground or a wave coming in, and everything toppling is that energy. So with Ketu in the sign of Taurus, one needs to be very, very careful of how you play out your energies. The other thing is Ketu allows you to get those attributes of life where you are focusing on things for others than for yourself. So if Ketu is placed in Taurus and you are asking for resources more for your family or for others, or to help the general crowd outside to sustain their own families, then you will find that Ketu gives you more and more, because Ketu says you have already absorbed all the goodies of materialistic life last time around in your last life. So why you are still chasing in this life? I will not give it to you easily. It's an uphill task for you, because you have already been there, done that. So it is like if you have been on a certain a picnic or gone to see a certain movie so many times, you cannot have the same enthusiasm the 100th time or the 200th time or the 1000th time. One find you say it's boring. I've seen the movie so many times. I don't want to see that movie again. I don't want to eat the same flavor of ice cream again. I want something else. So you have absorb so much of that energy in the last life. Ketu will not make it easy for you to achieve in this life for yourself. So as long as you are doing it for others, Ketu will allow you to get the materialistic resources that the Taurus sign represents. However, if you flag your energy and if you take the guard down, Ketu will take everything from you. So that's a warning sign for you. Ketu is in the sign of Taurus on the financial front, definitely. Ketu in the sign of Gemini is a good placement for those people who are finding it difficult to make decisions. Gemini is a unique energy of having a lot of enthusiasm for communication. They have great communication ability, and they are able to communicate and put the ideas across. They are able to market themselves well, they are able to brand themselves very well, and with a lot of energy also. But many times, even in spite of all these communication skills, all this energy that the person has, the Gemini energy, but because of the duality of mind, and because of the indecision and the confusion in the mind, what decision to take or what decision not to make, many a times Ketu doesn't allow you that dual mindedness. Ketu makes you very, very lazy and says, to hell with the decision making, this is too much of an energy. And sometimes the person, by sheer lackadaisical nature or not being able to put up enough energy in the pull of both the sides, usually takes up the easiest decision which is possible. Sometimes indecision becomes their decision, so they just don't take decisions. They say, I just give up, or they'll depend on somebody else to take or make the decision, or they'll take wise counsel from others. Because of this duality, not being very, very confident about their own decision making. So that is something that maybe to a flip side works in the person's favor, because decision making become easy because you don't take the decision itself or you depend on somebody else. However, communication is sometimes it's a little tricky. You want to send out one message, but the message that you're sending out is something else. So with Ketu, it is like all the communication ability that you have already been there, done that in the last life, and you have exhausted all of that. So sometimes when you're trying to communicate something which the Gemini energy represents and you should be able to do beautifully, you're not able to do with the same effect. It is like you have run into a wall and you have to put in that much more harder effort to convince somebody. And with this you will find that to spend a lot of effort to do something comes less to you because of Ketu negating the energy, the enthusiasm and the communication ability. And this is a placement where if you are trying to get more results for yourself and you are trying to act more materialistically, then you will find the task more uphill. However, if your communication is for the larger audience, it is for the larger group of people, for the larger population, then Ketu still makes it easier because now you are not asking things for yourself because you have already been there and done that in earlier life. So Ketu takes away the confusion and manifests the result stronger if the larger objective is beyond yourself. So sometimes the person doesn't put too much effort in marketing and branding and telling that this is who I am and I am such a great person I am. So it doesn't focus too much on self. And so with a lot of silent energy is able to sell the ideas. So it's like somebody going and telling a person who is selling a product to, sir, this is a good product. A lot of people have used it. I don't want to bore you with all the details. I just want to tell you that you can look at these brochures. I will leave the brochures to you. This so many people have already bought it. You go through it and if you find this is appealing, just give me a call. So what happens with such a person, because there is no pressure on the buyer from the seller, so take this and this is a great product and all, but you let the person be in peace. So the person is many times able to convince himself and then buys the product from you, or gets convinced with your idea, or gets convinced from your very laid back, nice, easygoing marketing or selling ideas. So this works on the flip side, and that is a wonderful thing about Ketu. This will give you the flip side of the energy more, and so you need to understand what energies to use and use it to your advantage. So with Ketu in Gemini, it is important that you don't put too much energy to sell yourself. Try and see what the opposite person needs and use that energy to be able to sell or to convince or to present, and you will find that you will do a much better job. The moment you move away and to see that I want this result and so I want to convince the other person, Ketu will take the result away from you. And there will be a sudden downfall. Ketu in any sign once in life will give you a sudden downfall with that. So Ketu in the sign of Gemini will give you one big miscommunication or big misbranding approach or a big miss in trying to do something of your own, and such a downfall it will not be easy for you to recuperate from. So with Ketu in Gemini, be very, very careful when you're signing documents or signing on the dotted line or committing to somebody. That may be something that may come back to haunt you later. And that is the placement of Ketu in the sign of Gemini for you. Ketu in the sign of Cancer is a blessing in a certain way, because what is the sign of Cancer? Cancer is a lot of emotionality, and the person's emotions get the better of him or her, and because of these emotions getting the better of you, many times you hit a roadblock because of you being too emotional about something or being too attached to something, and people also misusing your emotions. So Ketu in Cancer either doesn't allow you to be too emotional, or you have a very subdued emotion, which means you may be feeling angry inside, you may be feeling upset inside, you may be feeling very, very sad inside, even happy from inside, but that doesn't come out very, very strongly. That emotion is not shown out in a very blow up proportion which the Cancer sign is capable of. So this is a very subdued emotion. So many times there is an internal crying, or there is no vociferous celebration of something, and because of sometimes not being able to show the emotions, the other person thinks that you are okay if the person doesn't listen to you, because that person thinks that maybe the spouse or your family thinks he doesn't feel too bad if I don't listen to him. This person doesn't feel too bad, or my spouse doesn't feel too bad if I don't ask him for every decision that I make. He is cool. But the person internally may be feeling that, but may not be able to tell you, is not able to show the emotion. So sometimes it so happens that because of you not being over emotional about something, you tend to be more sad inside that you are not being involved. But the opposite person never gets to know. So that way you tend to suffer internally also. On the flip side, what happens is, because you seem to be very easygoing and not being over emotive and not being over emotional about something, the relationship sustains. with all its pluses and minuses also, and so the person sustains the relationship in spite of bottling up his or her emotions. So it is important with this placement that not to come across as too cold. If you come across as too cold in the relationship may even break, or the person may take undue advantage of you because they feel that you don't care. So not being over emotional about it, but talking about it, letting the person know what is the emotion that you are going through without showing the emotions on the face, which Ketu will anyways not allow you, is the energy. So it's a dual energy, but again with Ketu in Cancer, many times it happens that the financial side, sometimes it's a big downfall which happens, especially related to property or cars or vehicles. So sometimes the sudden downfall will come in and your fixed assets may be shaken up, and it takes a lot of time for you to recuperate. So if you have Ketu in the sign of Cancer, be very, very careful from an emotional side of point of view, and also from the material side of point of view. This is also placement where the relationship with mother sometimes may be wanting. There may be challenges, there may be ups and downs, or you may have a foster mother. Sometimes the mother is not there at all, or there is distance with mother, or mother's health may not be good on a regular basis. So these are the things to watch out for if you have Ketu in the sign of Cancer. Ketu in the sign of Leo is a little laid back leader. Leo is a sign of leadership, the lion who has the confidence and the strength to go and conquer. So Ketu in Leo, what it does it do? Either it gives you a lot of confidence but not the bravery to do things. So while inside you're confident that I'll win the election if I stand for the election, but you're not brave enough to face the competition because you feel if I win and they lose, they'll kill me, or they'll harm me, or they'll take me to task, or they will put me into false cases. So that is the kind of leadership this person has. Somebody who is a very, very competent leader and wants to take the leadership role, but does not want to antagonize the higher ups and wants to be in the good books. So it tries to play it very tactfully and tactically, but that is not the inherent nature of the lion. The lion is the king. They want to go and conquer and feel good about themselves, and they command respect, and they heaven helps somebody who tries to disrespect the lion. But here Ketu, while giving you the need for leadership internally, doesn't give you the energy and the braveness or the brazenness to go and ask for the leadership. So internally you want the leadership position, internally you want the result to come to you, but externally you are not able to go and ask and demand that I want this leadership. I'm capable of this, and I also deserve this placement. So because internally there is this less energy to go and ask for what you deserve, many a times you don't get it. So the leadership position doesn't come to you, the managerial position doesn't come to you, the power and influence that you need to get doesn't come to you. So with this energy, many times what happens is either you are internally it is built up and suddenly it explodes one day, or if you are a leader and you're not able to sustain with the energy of the leadership, then one fine day there is a downfall. Because you lose the confidence of the supervisors and managers, either when they give you the role the first time, or after some time when you are in the role for some time, they think you are burnt out because you are not able to sustain with the same energy. So Ketu gives you a downfall in your leadership capability, Ketu gives you a downfall in your confidence, Ketu gives you a downfall in the bravery, especially if you're chasing things for yourself. As long as you're chasing a larger goal much more than yourself and chasing it for others, then Ketu will keep giving you the energy. For example, if you're doing it for example, Leo energy, artistic ability and ability to perform. If you're standing by an artistic performance and trying to protect art rather than yourself, then you will have an energy to sustain longer. And this is also a dangerous placement to get into speculative investments and to take risks there. So Ketu tries to keep you off taking those risks which are not good for you. But if you still push your luck and try to take a risk which is not for you, then Ketu gives you a loss. So if Ketu you have in the Leo sign, be really careful where you're showing your aggression, where you're pushing for leadership, where you're making your investments, and try to have a larger goal than yourself. That is the sign of Ketu, that is the placement of Ketu in the sign of Leo for you. Ketu in Virgo is an energy where the Virgo perfectionism and the Virgo analytical ability somewhere has to be balanced with being more realistic about how much you're being analytical about something. For example, when you are trying to be too perfect in something, sometimes you spoil the relationship with the opposite party, you spoil the teamwork because of the energies of Virgo, where you're being too analytical and you don't see the relationship or the equation that you have with the person or the team. And so being too analytical and being too perfectionist, you end up antagonizing the other person, the other party, because the person feels that nothing is good enough for this person, nothing is perfect enough for this person. If the entire presentation is right, just because of one slide having slightly less or different format or font from the other, this person is unnecessarily being too complaining about something. What Ketu does is that internally you still feel strongly for those, you still have the analytical ability, you still have the perfectionism. However, to say it with confidence and to tell the person, look here, Mr. You effed up here, you did a wrong job here, you blew up things here, the font is not right, the color is not right, the size is not right, what are you doing? So with the same energy and the important zest for the results may not come out. So either the opposite party feels you're okay with it and continues to do that while you're boiling from inside or not being able to say, or the other side what happens is, you start taking it up, you start doing it yourself. You feel okay, you've done this job, and you don't tell the person that so many errors are there. You end up doing the person's job more than the others. So this is that kind of a thing where you can't compete, you can't tell people. So many times Ketu in Virgo also doesn't give you very good raise or rise in your career or your job, because you're not able to ask for it, you're not able to compete strongly for it. So if you have Ketu in the sign of Virgo, be a little careful how you come across to people, and either you will come across to people as too complaining or very less energy in complaining or being analytical. So if you are in a more analytical and research oriented job, an audit oriented job, then you need to be careful that you may be sending the wrong message across to people. However, if you have a larger goal in mind, you have a more service bent of mind, trying to serve others, and then the analytical ability will be strongly showcased, the ability to correct people will be strongly showcased, and the ability to get almost a perfect job out of others will be helped by Ketu, because now you're not asking for yourself, but you're asking for the larger goal beyond yourself, and that is the placement of Ketu in the sign of Virgo for you. Ketu in the sign of Libra is an energy which affects directly your ability to get into and sustain relationships, partnerships, and contracts and dealings with others. Firstly, the Libra energy is the relationship of balance between what you need and what the opposite party needs. And Libra energy is anyone and everyone who you meet on a day-to-day basis. So being Ketu being placed in the sign of Libra, it doesn't allow you to keep that balance. It upsets the balance, and many times the balance is upset in such a manner that the opposite party ends up getting more. One side you are not able to ask for more, while internally you feel like it. So what happens is, with this energy, you end up getting the raw side of the bargain, because you're not able to ask enough for yourself, while internally the aspiration is there. So in the relationship, many times with your spouse, it so happens that you may end up marrying somebody in spite of knowing that everything is not perfect with this person, and you get into a relationship in very mystical or mysterious, or suddenly you get into those circumstances where you end up getting married to that person, or who you got married to becomes a enigma for you later on, that is this the same person who I wanted to marry, because this person seems to be very different after I got married. What I was expecting from this person earlier seems to be very, very different, and so many times expectations are not met. One, because Ketu has already been there and done that in earlier relations. So you have been in relations before and you have enjoyed all the goodies of being in a relationship, being in a partnership, being in contracts with people, and getting huge success in business associations also. So in this life, obviously you will not be able to get those kind of results which you have already enjoyed. The dhwaja has already been put there, the flag of conquering has already been put there. So in this life it becomes more tougher for you to get a better bargain for yourself, and so many a times you end up on the receiving side of not getting enough from the relationship that you are in. And so always there is a feeling that your expectations are not being met, or you are not getting the enough from the relationship, or you are getting the raw side of the equation. So internally the happiness is not there, the contentment is not there. However, you are not able to tell easily and frankly to the person. But when you try to strongly ask for it, ask for your side of the bargain, then what happens? Because you have already enjoyed that, all that energy and all those goodies in your earlier life, and these in this life it are negated for you, so you end up antagonizing the relationship, and the other person feels, what happened to this person? Till yesterday he or she was okay with what they got, suddenly why they are asking for more? They don't look at it as a balance in relationship. You are asking because you agreed for more win for them and less win for yourself, and suddenly you are asking for an equitable win for both. The other party feels, no, I mean, you're asking for more, how can you get more? They don't realize that you're asking for an equal balance, and because of the misconception, because of the imbalance they think you're trying to create, the relationship runs into challenges, the partnership runs into challenges, the teamwork runs into challenges. So one fine day you feel that team is not doing enough, you try to push them, and the team pushes you back and says, what has happened to my boss or my leader or my manager? Suddenly this person has become like a Hitler, pushing us too hard. This person was so nice till earlier. So this is a placement where somewhere after some time a relationship fails, a partnership fails, and it fails suddenly. While it is manifesting inside of you for a long period of time, and then you have said, but after once you push even a little bit, you find that the relationship goes downhill very, very fast, and before you know, it's all over. And then you try as you might to sustain and to bring it back to the same level, you never seem to succeed. So with this placement, it is better to expect less and ask in a nice manner, and yet to be okay if something is not coming for. So it's always good to say, this is what I'm expecting, but I'm not too much hell-bent on it. I just leave it to you, and you are in the better side of your of your love and affection or whatever. If it makes sense to you, okay, otherwise let it be. So that when the other opposite party feels that you're not asking too strongly, then you're not over emotional about it, then you have some bargaining chip, because with Ketu you're saying, I will be okay if it doesn't come to me. So because you are ready to still let go if the result doesn't come to you, many times the result comes to you. And if you do it for the betterment of the partnership rather than for yourself, if you feel you're being frustrated inside is spoiling the partnership and the relationship, and for the relationship you want an equitable relationship, the equitable your side of the coin also, you may end up getting it. However, it is still better to be on the discretion is better part of the Vela. So with Ketu in the sign of Libra, be less expecting and you will get more, and that is the placement of Ketu in the sign of Libra for you. Ketu in the sign of Scorpio is a fantastic placement. One, Ketu in the sign of Scorpio is in a sign which also co-rules with Mars. However, what Ketu does is, Scorpio is the stagnant water, the deep water, the mystical and the mysterious waters of sudden results, obstacles, issues. Ketu here either makes you less prone to those changes. So those obstacles, those upheavals either don't happen much to you, or you become less prone to them, which means you are in this state of mind where you feel that, okay, I may not have got this result, but it's okay. I tried to win this event, I did not win, it's okay. I tried to get this investment right, I didn't get, it's okay. I tried, I could have succeeded. So here you are not chasing strongly those results which are not in your hand. which are in other people's hand or other people's wealth also. So on one side you are safe from sudden events, upheavals happening, but the other side is also the plus point of being in Scorpio, which means the magnetism, the attraction and the power and influence that Scorpio also gives you to protect yourself. Scorpio is this stinging power that whenever somebody tries to strike you, you sting the person and you say back off. So this person is many times left unprotected. So on one side, not enough upheavals comes to you, obstacles don't come to you, but when it happens, because there is not enough of energy to fight the obstacle, the issue, the challenge, the competition, you feel that you are alone when the obstacle hits you. So you will still be able to handle it, but you will feel that I am alone, there is not enough of support, there is nobody around to help me to come out of this challenge. So many times you are left more emotionally, you are made to feel alone. And Scorpio is the sign where you are left alone anyways, because people are not able to understand you, people keep their distance from you, people feel you are too mysterious, people may look at you with a lot of suspicion. And now Ketu is here, so Ketu does not allow you to either showcase those energies, or Ketu keeps you off other people and does not allow you to be able to use your ability to defend yourself against these energies. So on one side it is good, but on the other side, the flip side is also this. The good side thing of Ketu being in the sign of Scorpio is this also gives you a lot of sudden things out of the blue, and sudden results when you least expected it. It will give you inheritance when you least expected it. You're not attached to inheritance, you're not attached to other people's money, but suddenly without warning it is given to you, because you're not demanding it, and you're not demanding it for yourself, you're not chasing it. So if you're not chasing other people's money, you're not chasing inheritance, you're not being greedy in a shared property with you and your spouse, then you make more of it. The more inheritance you get more goodness also in life, and more obstacles don't hit you, and you are safe from more challenges. And that is the placement of Ketu in the sign of Scorpio for you, a powerful sign, a good sign. Ketu in the sign of Sagittarius is a unique energy. Sagittarius is this go-getting, adventurous spirit, a fun-loving person who does not like to be chained in shackles, and not to be too restrained by rules or regulations or relationships. Sagittarius energy is not to be pulled back from the freedom that he or she enjoys. They like to have fun, they are more outgoing, they have this extrovert energy, they are very, very adventurous, and they like to be out in the open, they like to take in the air, and they like to go and visit places. So all this freedom, enjoyment, adventurous energy is all chained in with Ketu. So sometimes the person feels a little frustrated, because the person wants to go and enjoy and be adventurous and wants to say what they want to be frank, because Sagittarius is a frank person, a very witty person. So may find a very witty way of, or a sarcastic way, or fun sarcastic way to put people off, and still do what they want and to be adventurous. So Ketu puts a restraining order on you. So the person feels frustrated. I'm not able to go and enjoy. I'm not able to do things that I want. And I don't know what's goes wrong. Whenever I make plans to go out to party or do something good, they always fail. This does not allow you to get higher learning. It puts a binding factor on your high education. It gives you challenges with your gurus also. So overall, this is like a shackle of energy. However, what Ketu also does is, it makes you more spiritual. So whenever you are seeking spiritual energy, you are seeking spiritual learning, and you become more spiritual in the way you handle high learning on your gurus. Expect less and respect gurus more, respect information more, and be willing to work hard for it. You find that a lot of information comes easy to you. Degrees may not come easier to you, but the expertise of the knowledge comes easier to you. Adventure may not come easy to you, but this also gives you a lot of peace of mind in handling day-to-day issues, day-to-day challenges also of life, even when the doors of fate and luck don't open for you, which the Sagittarius energies constitute. The person may not be too adventurous, but sometimes it also saves you from unnecessary issues and challenges and incidents also. This, however, gives you a chance definitely of going out and doing definitely what you want, but there is a risk of a downfall also. If you become too adventurous, if you become too outgoing, then you will find that you don't have friends, strong friends, you don't have relationships, you don't have enough security in life. There is no fallback option for you, because all your life you have spent in adventure, fun, money and all that, and you don't have much for left for yourself. So many times Ketu in Sagittarius is a protective sign also. If Jupiter is not very strong, then in such people may never in their life or hardly in their life go for adventure or fun or seeking those kind of adrenaline rush in activities. So overall this is slightly tricky energy, but if you are able to do things more for others and you are more spiritual in your manifestation, a good energy to get all sides of spiritual help and the deja vu experience with Ketu in the sign of Sagittarius. Ketu in the sign of Capricorn is an energy where it makes you work much more harder at work, but the results don't seem to be coming to you, and so over a period of time when you see that results are not coming in, try as I hard, work hard, I don't get the gratitude from my supervisors or from my people, I don't get the bonuses, I don't get the growth, I don't get the increment, I don't get the appreciation, then the energy is not able to sustain, the energy flags, and then what happens is the person loses the interest to continue with the same high energy, work long hours, show their dedication and loyalty. While inside deep within there are people who want to be very committed, very loyal, very hardworking, but because they find that the fruits of labor are not coming to them, so many times laziness and procrastination seems to be creeping in, or they are not able to get the benefits from the work, so they show only so much energy at work. Or on the flip side, they put in a lot of hard work and energy, but it is not seen by the supervisors and their managers, and so growth, promotions, increments, appreciation, being grateful to you doesn't come to you. Especially if Ketu is transiting over its natal position, over Capricorn, a person may lose their job, upheavals in their jobs may also happen, upheavals in the service may also happen, and there may be one big downfall which comes in your career where you may have to completely change your outlook towards your job, outlook towards your career, and even the industry that you're working in. So with Ketu placed in the sign of Capricorn, expect less output for yourself at work. Contribute, thinking that you're contributing to the industry and you're serving to people and your work is important, your karma is more important. Then what happens is Ketu will then, because you're not putting more energy for self, but you're putting it for the industry and you're putting it for your karma, then automatically you will find that over a period of time gains come in, you also get the appreciation of your bosses. However, you may not grow to the highest echelons of leadership because the energy that needs to be seen in the leadership position may not come to you, and you may have already enjoyed that in your previous life. And so this is the energy of being the person who has no power on the sides, has an ability to influence decisions indirectly to others, but may not be reaching the top echelon of the bracket. So with your Ketu in the sign of Capricorn, ensure that you put in more hard work, have better relations with supervisors and managers, and put in more effort to know the larger equation of how the business of the life cycle of the business works, and then you have some chance or a stronger chance at manifesting the wishes and desires you have of the job or career that you are in. That is the placement of Ketu in the sign of Capricorn for you. Ketu in the sign of Aquarius can be a very good placement as long as you want to work for society, for the larger societal norms. Aquarius is the energy of larger holistic societal challenges, societal issues, and if Ketu is placed in the sign of Aquarius in your horoscope, this takes away the energy of wishing or desiring things for self, because Aquarius is also the energy of the 11th house, it's also the energy of your wishes and desires. So Ketu in the sign of Aquarius makes you less wanting for yourself at a materialistic level. and manifesting results for others. So here you could be a very family person, you could be a very team person, you could be a very good sibling or brother, or you could be a spouse who wants to do for others rather than self. Then results may come in. But if your wish is even higher goals at a societal level, you want to do things for a city, for your state, for your country, for the world at large, then this is an excellent placement where you get the authority to make changes. However, the huge mass adulation that should come for you becoming a mass leader who can change things around may not be this position. This may be a very powerful bureaucrat who works just one notch below a big leader who himself is able to make the change, but depends on you to be able to help the person put the equation together and then put the proposal in front, and that person can run and then bring in the effect. So you are the strong energy at the backside who makes things happen rather than being in the forefront to make things happen, because in the last life you have been there and done that, and so in this life you have to contribute more to society rather than do for yourself. This is a good placement where if the wishes and desires are there but you're not changing too much, you find out of nowhere your wish and desire gets fulfilled. You get fan mail from out of nowhere, or you have people who like you but they have not told you, I admire you silently, and then suddenly you feel, oh, somebody admires me, likes me, I didn't even know this. You may be a very quiet person who may not have a huge fan following, may not have a lot of friends who you can depend on, may not even have an elder sibling, or you play the elder sibling in the family in spite of having an elder sibling, because the elder sibling is not as good as you, or is not ready to take the responsibility. So this is a placement where you have very few friends or hardly any friends, and the closest of close friends may be just one person or maximum two who you depend on, how you are close to. So if you are Ketu in the sign of Aquarius, think large, think for others, and with from unknown quarters you may get the help and support, and your wishes and desires may come true. That is the placement of Ketu in the sign of Aquarius for you. Ketu in the sign of Pisces is the best position that Ketu can have. On one side, this is also called as a moksha giving position, because Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac, and this is a step into the next realm or the higher realm or even the next life. So when Ketu goes into Pisces, Ketu 1 takes away all the materialistic attributes of Pisces, being too imaginary, being too unrealistic and building castles in the air. That kind of a thing you are not. You are more practical, you are more down to earth, and you are wishing for things to happen for others. You are very creative and imaginative, but you are wishing for things to happen for others rather than for yourself. So your wish and desire could be for family, your wish and desire could be for a company, your wish and desire could be a certain goal that you have in life or for the society at large, but hardly for yourself. And if Ketu is in the sign of Pisces, and if you try to change things or you are trying to chase materialistic results, then seldom do you get the results to the extent that you want to. This is also a placement where even when you are living abroad or working in MNCs, the kind of gains that you are expecting out of them or what you want from living abroad or working for an MNC don't come to the extent that you think you can achieve and you deserve. The movement up is slow, it is painstaking, and you end up getting into a situation where you are important for the company, but yet the acknowledgement that should come for you may not come through. The same thing happens with the relationship. This is also a placement where your need for intimacy slowly goes down over a period of time, and there may be a time where the energy and the need for intimacy and the desiring intimacy may be reduced so much that your partner feels left out also, your partner feels less needed or desired, and so this is a place of work cut out for you. This is also a place where sometimes you make too many plans in the air, but you don't have the energy to chase them, or you don't make plans at all, or you make plans but you yourself give them up thinking that they're too unrealistic and you don't chase them. And so this is a loss prevention making placement, which means Ketu in Pisces prevents losses for you because you just don't have the energy to chase those goals anymore, and you may still have unrealistic plans, but you don't have the energy or the resources to chase them and to sustain. Ketu in the sign of Pisces may also bring you one downfall in the matters of health or related to how much you can show your courage. You may sometimes feel, you may like solitude, you may want to be quiet, and you may, a lot of times you are in your own mind space and people don't know what's going on in your mind. People sometimes wonder what's going on or what's cooking in your mind, and they may not get to know. And you are a very private person also. You like to retire to your own space or your own cave. You also like to ruminate in your own thoughts, the juices of solitude. You like that, and you like your own space also. Even in relationship, you may like that. So in that way, it's also very spiritual placement. If you are somebody who wants to dedicate your life to doing things for others and not wanting much for yourself, then you get excellent results at a world level, even at a relationship level. Ketu in the sign of Pisces is one of the strongest denotions of moksha if you dedicate your life to serving others and wanting less for yourself. So the worldly success may still come to you, but the attachment towards materialistic success may be less. So if you are not very attached to materialistic success and you want to do more for others, and you want to do it creatively and imaginatively, then this is one of the best placements for both worldly success and also spiritual success and the elevation of the soul into the next realm for you. And that is the placement of Ketu in the sign of Pisces for you. So friends, now that we have discussed Ketu in the different signs, please look into your own horoscopes where Ketu is placed in which sign, what it is manifesting, what yogas or doshas in it, what aspects are on it, malefic or malefic, and accordingly manifest what it means, rather than assuming that these generic results which are given you are the final ones. So friends, like this video, share this video, please subscribe to my channel, and if you're looking for a personal consultation from me, please reach out to me, the links given below. Till some other time with some other video, this is your friend astrologer and guide Irfan signing off. Ciao.